Hey guys, welcome back to the video. In this video, we're ranking all 3 seasons of The Boys. So before season 3 came out, I rewatched seasons 1 and 2, and since season 3 just wrapped, here's my ranking for all the seasons. Before we get into it, if you guys are new here and you don't want to miss any of my movie and TV content, as well as all coverage on The Boys, make sure to subscribe and notification on so you don't miss any time I upload a new video or go live. But don't waste more time, let's get into it. So in third place is season 1, the season that started it all. I give season 1 overall an 8.5 out of 10. I think this is a really good season. In my opinion, no season is actually bad. They just build upon what came in the past. So of course, season 1 was the basis for all of it. I think it sets up the world absolutely perfectly and tells the audience what they need to know about this world. I do think that some aspects are better than other seasons. Like for example, the hand-to-hand combat in season 1 is miles out of the hand-to-hand combat in season 2. But I would say season 2, the superpowers get elevated a little bit. But for the small-esque budget that season 1 had, I thought they did a really great job telling the story. And again, the main thing is just how they really built up this world and really got us engaged into these heroes. It definitely felt like the episode 1, 2, and 3 were very slow. They started off on a slower pace, but in my opinion, it works. My favorite thing about this entire show is the fact that it knows when to slow down. And I think season 1 does it perfectly because in the beginning, of course, we're very new to this world. We don't really know what to expect in this world and how everything really works. Personally, I'm not a comic reader of The Boys, so this is my first introduction to the world, and season 1 introduced everything perfectly. But I will also say with that the side stories are the weakest than they are in all of 3 seasons, but they're really good for setting up the future. It just doesn't feel like they're as solid as seasons 2 and 3. I also do believe that in seasons 2 and 3, the finales are probably the best episodes of the season, but this season, that's not really the case. I would say in season 1, I was most connected to Starlight, but she's really the catalyst for everything in this entire show, and I really like how they utilized her here in season 1. Now with that being said, in second place, my second favorite season of The Boys is season 2 at an 8.75 out of 10. I know that might be kind of corny, but I would have put it at an 8.5 because I don't think it's on the same exact level as season 1, but I also don't think it's that close to the rating of season 3, so I would say it's right in the middle. But if someone asked me, I'm obviously just gonna say an 8.5 out of 10. I do think it's very similar to season 1, and it's just damn good TV. I mean, they really know how to encapsulate us or just engage us with the story right out the gate. I do think this has the best 3-episode premiere out of all 3 seasons. You also have like the huge whale set piece in the 3rd episode. And again, like I said before, it takes everything that season 1 did and it just elevates it to a whole other level, making it better overall. I will say, obviously the side plots are more engaging than season 1, but not all of them were that engaging. I definitely felt like there were standouts. Of course, Stormfront's introduction, which I'll talk about a little bit later, is absolutely insane. She's like perfect for this show, and her inclusion and her use in not only season 2, but the beginning of season 3 is just really good. And I love the way that everything is built up here and how season 2 has the most impact for season 3. I would say more than 1 has an impact on 2. Back to the side plots, because I think they're very interesting this season. I think they take a good route in terms of balancing them. Of course, season 3 is the best in my opinion. I'll talk about that later in this video. And definitely in season 3, it does feel like all the side plots are there, but they don't feel like they're impacting everyone at all times. Whereas in season 2, our main side plot of Ryan and then that connection to Butcher and Homelander, all of that really builds up upon one another and just keeps building. And then in the finale, you have that perfect amount of payoff. I do want to talk about Ryan again really quickly. His stuff was super interesting. I really love the way they utilized not only Ryan, but also Becca this season. And just that story, it's not only emotional for Butcher, but I actually sympathize with Homelander in moments of him just wanting to be a good father. Of course, he doesn't go about it in the right way at all whatsoever, and I don't agree with what he's doing, but I understand his intent. I understand his emotion, and I totally get that, and that's crazy that they got me to sympathize with Homelander because he's just an absolute menace through this show. Other really cool things in season 2 have to be the superpowers in this season. I definitely think that out of the first 2 seasons, it does it best. Of course, season 1, I said they had the best hand-to-hand combat, but here the superpowers between like Stormfront killing Kamiko's brother, the hospital scene, and the heads exploding, it feels like they really took it to another level, and I can really respect that. Of course, season 1, you had like Translucent exploding and all of these different aspects that really were just mind-blowing, and no pun intended. But I definitely do feel like season 2 took it to another level in terms of what is really possible in this world. And with that, they set up season 3 really well. I also do think that Kamiko is the best side character of season 2. And I think that her arc really translates well between all 3 seasons, just because every single season, and this is not only for Kamiko, but the entire show, is every season they really just take what the previous season did and they just elevate it again. They make what works, make it 10 times bigger, but they also don't let the heart and drama side of it all go away. But obviously, with that being said, now to my first place, my favorite season of The Boys, which is the newest season, season 3. It is a 9.5 out of 10 for me. Almost perfect television in my opinion. It is just diabolical. It is literally top tier television in my opinion. It's up there with seasons 4 and 5 of Breaking Bad, Barry season 3, Daredevil season 3. It is really just perfect in my opinion. Like, there are minimal flaws, and honestly all the flaws are just huge nitpicks that I have when I'm just trying to find something to complain about within this perfect culmination of what this show is. Every week while I was watching this show, it felt like they just kept topping it over and over and over. I don't know how they did it, and I honestly just hope they can keep it up for season 4, because if they can, then I do think season 4 will end up making this show one of the best shows of all time. I do think Daredevil is the best superhero show of all time, best comic book show of all time, whatever. But I could see the argument. Like, if someone said they think The Boys is better than Daredevil, I wouldn't be mad at that. That's actually a very feasible take in my opinion. I wouldn't necessarily agree just yet, but I do think if season 4 can somehow stay on the caliber of season 3, it'll easily be the best superhero show of all time, and it'll probably take one of the best TV show spots of all time for me. Now, in terms of specifics this season, Soldier Boy is the massive standout here. He's one of the best inclusions of the entire show in my opinion. His buildup of his like unseen arc through episodes 1 through 4, and then that big release in episode 5 is absolutely amazing. Homelander is like the craziest he's ever been. His twig snapped at the end of the finale, which I won't be giving too many spoilers away, but I definitely do think the way that they just play out Homelander's arc in this season is one of the best villainous arcs of all time. And just in general, the writing is at its peak here. The dilemmas, the choices, and the actions by all of the characters, it always had me engaged, and I just really love what they do here with the writing again. I feel like the side stories always have me just entranced. I feel like all of the side characters, they always just make me care for them, even if they're not a big part of the main story. Like Frenchie and Kamiko's main story this season wasn't really that involved with the boys. In general, the boys were split up for like 90% of this season, except for like the first few episodes in the final episode, but I still cared for each and every one of them. And the final thing I want to talk about with season 3 is just how far they take the action here, the powers, and just with the Temp V, all the possibilities that they had, they really just took it to the maximum level. It never felt like they really shied away from anything that was possible. I definitely felt like, people could be like, oh, they wanted other people to take Temp V, see what everyone's powers would be, but story-wise, it makes more sense for only Butcher and Huey to take it, and that dilemma and everything just comes together so well. This season easily has the best action of the entire show, and in my opinion, the fight in the finale in Vought Tower, like the big culmination, is easily one of my favorite fights in all of superhero media. It's just so well done. And again, I think what separates the action in this show compared to other like superhero shows, and honestly the other 2 seasons, is that at the core, at the end of the day, even within this big massive epic finale fight, like that fight is the grandest thing that's ever been in the show. Within all of that, it's still a drama. There's still character moments and resolutions and more threads coming out, and there's just a lot of small stuff happening within the big grand epic nature of this final battle and the final culmination of the entire series. And it feels like it's the end. It feels like something that's so big that it's the end, but obviously if we know they're gonna top it. I mean, they've been topping it since season 1. In my ranking, as I've seen, it goes season 1, 2, and 3. It gets better as time goes on, and even in the season itself, in season 3, every episode has just gotten better and better and better, and somehow they make it crazier and crazier and better written every single time. Again, they just keep managing to top themselves, and I have no fears that season 4 is gonna be even better than season 3. But guys, that's my ranking for all 3 seasons of The Boys. Let me know your ranking in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.